Hello, all. This is Dr. Dheeraj Masapu, and I'm a consultant anesthesiologist. So today I'm going to explain you how to choose a specialty like Elon Musk. So you must be wondering what I'm going to tell you about Elon Musk and specialty. What is the relation between Elon Musk and choosing a specialty? The number one which I would like to explain is the SpaceX business. So SpaceX is a business where the rocket he will launch rockets into the space. Exactly don't know what he does in the space, but he launches rockets and they will be safely landed also. This is the number one business. And number two business is the Tesla business. Tesla, we all know, are electric cars and electric cars basically, and they are most of the cars are very expensive and they come under luxury banner, and they're pretty famous ones, and mostly they'll be launched in India also soon. And there is a third business model also that he has, and I don't want to talk about Twitter now. You all know that he also bought Twitter, but the next model is the Starlink business that he started. So Starlink is a kind of internet supply, and so for that what they do is they will launch these satellites of Starlink into the space, and the launch is done by SpaceX business. So both are like interlinked. The SpaceX and Starlink businesses are interlinked. So why am I explaining all these things? Now I'll try to tell you. And so if you see all his business models, most of them are successful, and you all know that he is one of the top 5 richest people on the planet Earth. So what is his strategy? So after analyzing his strategy, what I understood is most of his business models follow a philosophy called as an entry barrier. So entry barrier concept I would like to explain you. So entry barrier concept and how you should use this entry barrier concept like Elon Musk in choosing your specialty and planning your career is what I'm going to explain. So basically entry barrier is basically for example, a business is there like a grocery business, and you have set up a grocery business and there is no major entry barrier there. By next day there 10 more people can actually enter into that area and start the grocery business. Okay, but if you have a business like a solar energy business or a business like SpaceX or Tesla, so there is a big entry barrier in the form of regulations that you need to clear. For example, if you need to establish a SpaceX business, then there are a lot of regulations for a rocket to go into the space, government approvals, and so many things will be there. And a second company so easily cannot enter and compete with you. Okay, that is called as an entry barrier. The same thing doesn't happen in a grocery business. So hope you understood what I'm trying to tell. So Elon Musk's every business has a very high level of entry barrier, and if you take SpaceLink business, for somebody to enter they need to have SpaceX for launching them. So sorry, Starlink, for Starlink business to launch the satellite you need to have SpaceX. So both are interlinked. So nobody can actually compete with him for Starlink, because to establish SpaceX itself a lot of regulations are there. So he makes sure that he'll enter business in such a way that there's nobody going to compete with him in future. So in the same way you should also plan your career in such a way that nobody is going to compete with you and entry barrier is high. So how do you increase the entry barrier? So according to me, in medical specialties entry barrier increases when the entry exams are very difficult and the exit is very difficult, and the number of entry exams to enter a particular area are high. For simple example is electrophysiology. Electrophysiology is a specialty where they deal with arrhythmias in the heart. To become electrophysiologist, first you need to clear MBBS, and then you need to write your NEET and become a MD General Medicine. Then you need to write your NEET PG and become DM in cardiology, and then you need to apply for a fellowship in India or abroad, and then you become a electrophysiologist after 2 years of training, and then you develop your patient base. So a person has to go through a lot of hurdles in the process, and he needs to have a backup of money and family, and also he needs to have a lot of persistence and endurance in the process. So this is called as an entry barrier. A person who has become an electrophysiologist has gone through so many years of training, so many hurdles in between. Another person coming as an electrophysiologist and competing with him, the chances are actually very low. So that is called as an entry barrier concept. So what are the different specialities which will actually come under this entry barrier concept? I made a list. There are nearly 13 specialities which I feel have this entry barrier advantage. Number one, electrophysiology, I already explained. Number two is interventional radiology. So interventional radiology, for somebody to enter, they need to first do MBBS, then MD radiology. MD radiology itself is very tough, and then DM in neuroradiology. They have to do in centers like NIMHANS, Vijitra. So many years of training goes under that particular process to reach it. So next is interventional neuroradiology. Next is interventional pulmonology. Okay, after that, in anesthesia also there are all the super specialty anesthesias come under this category. So cardiac anesthesia, neuroanesthesia, onco anesthesia, transplant anesthesia also, you require DMs in that. So they also have to go through a lot of process. So general anesthetists competing with these people, the number of people who are trained in this niche, for example, neuroanesthesia, if you take in India, roughly around 500 to 600 people are there. Okay, but general anesthesia, if you take 30,000 people are there. So because only 500 to 600 people could actually cross the entry barrier. So a person competing with a neuroanesthetist will be very unlikely, but more people will compete in general anesthesia category. So it doesn't mean that the work-life balance will be more. See, I'm not talking about work-life balance. It's all about the safety and success of a particular business or a particular person. So the chances of success will improve, but your work-life balance I'm not talking about. My schedule will be more tighter. My schedule will be longer than the general anesthetist. Okay, next coming to the fetal medicine also comes under this category. Fetal medicine is where radiology people should be trained again for some years to become a fetal medicine experts. Epileptologists also come into this category. After MD general medicine, you have to go into DM in neurology, and then you do again fellowships in epilepsy. So you become epileptologist, and movement disorder specialists also coming up now. So after DM neurology, you again do fellowship in NIMHANS or other countries to become movement disorder specialists who deal with Parkinson's and other movement disorders. And next is sports medicine. Sports medicine is done by either MS orthopedics you have to finish, or you have to do radiology, and then as a specialty training you have to do sports medicine. They say Australia is best for training in sports medicine. And even in intensive care, rather than practicing general intensive care where the competition is very high, if you can niche down to cardiac intensive care or neuro intensive care, the entry barrier increases because it needs fellowship in that, and the competition will come down. So totally 13 different varieties of specialities I told. So these specialities, if you can plan for future, and if you can reverse engineer and do your specialty according to that, then your entry barrier will be more. You will also succeed like Elon Musk, and the same philosophy is what is being. So opposite to that, I'll tell you what people are doing nowadays. They're doing only intensive care. So intensive care is not having this entry barrier, because what happens is MBBS per person can do a 2-year degree of IDCSM, he'll tell I am intensivist, and MD general anesthesia person can do 1 year IDCSM and he'll tell he is intensivist. A diploma anesthesia person can do another course and he'll tell. So many people actually compete for the same post. So the entry barrier is not there here, and a similar thing is for general medicine. So general medicine entry barrier is not there. So many people actually compete for that. MBBS people will compete, pulmonology people will compete, family medicine people will compete, geriatric medicine people will compete, and all these people will be competing for this thing. So these are the areas where the entry barrier is not there. So these are the areas where the competition will build up very fast in future. So my advice is to follow the Elon Musk principle, where competition is less, and then become a winner in that area. And that is what I see. I am not telling the concept which is derived from Elon Musk. I am personally doing that. I am a neuroanesthesiologist, and even though the number of patient base is less for neuroanesthesia, but number of people practicing are less. So in that way, you will be in demand. So you don't have to every time go to a field where patient base is large in crores. You can also niche down to an area and only have thousands of people whom you can cater, but the competition is lesser. So that is the policy Elon Musk followed. If you follow, you will also become one of the successful people. Okay. Thank you very much for following the video till now. As usual, Dr. Dheeraj Masapu logging off. You can join my WhatsApp channel. Link is there in the description. Thank you.